Now, in this analysis, we are looking only at Greenville County because we're all winners. We like living in Greenville. We think people who live in Pickens and Lawrence are losers, okay? We don't like them and they're no good. That's usually how it is in our mind. And if you live there, I'm sorry you've made a mistake. I'm kidding. We'd like to focus really exclusively on Greenville, but we actually looked at Greenville last year. We wanted to have a comparison report that really mimicked the report from last year to compare and contrast the difference. The reason we have to include Pickens and Lawrence because do people who work in Greenville live perhaps in Lawrence and Pickens? Show of hands, what do you think? Yeah, the answer is yes. The federal government says there's enough commuting from these two counties into Greenville. That's where the jobs are. There's enough commuting from these counties to make them as if they're one large organic whole. Think of it like a person. You cut off someone's, well, what's more important, your arm or your leg? You kind of need both. So, but more simplistically, think of it this way. Suppose you build a home here in, I don't know, Travelers Rest. I like the name of that place. That's in Greenville County. But suppose you live in Easley. Kid goes to school in Easley. Water comes from Easley. Sewer system supplies come from Easley. When your child decides to burn the house down, they go to court, juvie court in Easley. They end up in a juvie prison in Easley, and they see psychiatrists in Easley. So all the cost of home construction are borne by Easley, but the benefits of home construction are actually occurring here in Travelers Rest or Golden Grove or wherever it is. So what we have to do is pick an area large enough that we pick up all the benefits of the construction activity here and the costs here or wherever they are, and then we can figure out the totality of is the whole area better off because of home construction. So it could be they're better off here, but they're worse off here. If we looked here and forgot the costs, that would be unfair. So we're looking at the totality of everything. That's why we've included Lawrence and Pickens. Now, one last thing to keep in mind with the multipliers. As I mentioned, when the builders borrow money and they spend it, much of it leaks out. It leaks out because you go to Haiti, you buy some fancy shoes, or you save the money or something. We also get rid of things like auto manufacturing. That's not fair. We build homes here. The person who buys a home here in Greenville might buy a car made or manufactured here in Greenville. Shouldn't that be part of your analysis? Right? No. And the reason is, think about it. BMW makes these cars, these M5s, M6s they make there, and some sports cars too. I was there a year ago. I saw the plant. It's totally cool. If you haven't been, go. It is absolutely an amazing thing. And I'm not even a car person. I don't like cars much, but I was blown away. Anyways, do you think BMW will make an extra car because I moved to town? Do you think BMW will manufacture more cars because they built 1,000 more homes here in Greenville in 2010 compared to 2009? No. They make cars for the entire world in that assembly line. The X5s and X6s, the big sport utility vehicles. They don't care how many cars or houses are made here. Yeah, they might make more vehicles and they might sell a few more here in town, but they're not focusing in on construction, home construction here in town, and therefore altering the speed of their assembly line. There are two things going on at the same time that are utterly correlated, but there's no causal relationship. Make sense? So our model carefully accounts for that because we really want to focus in on what happens when you build a house. And when you build a house, you get this. Necessarily, as you build a house, and as the house is occupied on a day in, year out basis, you'll increase the demand for these types of services. You want to have an electrician in your house. Yeah, you want to have a newspaper. Maybe your house is built by a bad builder and you hire a lawyer for a class action lawsuit, God forbid. You get maybe you have a daycare. Maybe the builder, as they build a car, they have to go to a bank and borrow money. The guys on the crew go to restaurants. These are going to be locally supplied services that are going to, the demand for which will increase because of the homes being built. It's a causal relationship. Here, there's no causality. In a movie industry here in town, they're going to make more movies because they build a few more homes? Absolutely not. So that's why the multipliers aren't quite as robust, because we've thrown out local stuff that we know occurs and is sold here in town, but is not causally sold because of more homes being built. The model's pretty old. It's about 12 or 13 years old already. We've done it almost 700 times, actually. It's more than 6. It's almost 7 by now. A lot of places. We do it for a lot of home builder associations like Greenville here. But we do it for other places as well, places like this. And there are many more. I'm lazy and don't update it very often because fundamentally not very interesting. But I'm not lying to you, is what I'm basically trying to say. If I was lying, after having done this for 12 or 13 or 14 years, we'd probably figure it out by now. Am I not interesting enough for you guys? You're making notes. You're telling me, oh, it's
This grandson, I got a report on.
He's doing well? Oh, that's good. Okay. So let's look at the model here. Let's look at the numbers here for town. We're looking at home construction here in 2008, here in Greenville County. The whole county, not just the city. These are the averages. We're going to assume the average house price is this. We're going to forget multifam because you want to go home today at some point. Otherwise, we'll be here all afternoon. So this is house price sells for. That's what the raw lot is, undeveloped here for town. We're looking at home construction here in 2008, here in Greenville County. The whole county, not just the city. These are the averages. We're going to assume the average house price is this. We're going to forget multifam because you want to go home today at some point. Otherwise, we'll be here all afternoon. So this is house price sells for. That's what the raw lot is, an undeveloped raw lot in its agricultural form. So let's suppose you can get 4 houses to an acre. Let's suppose that's the zoning you end up getting. You buy an acre of land, it's roughly $40,000 from the farmer. This is still unzoned, unplatted, unimproved. No water, no sewer, no cable, no electricity, no gas, nothing. It's got cows all over it, or tumbleweeds, or whatever it is. This is how much the builders and developers have to pay to get permission to build. This is permit fees, permits and costs, the cost of doing business. They haven't done it. They really paid checks to local governments to get permission slips to build. And then that's the property taxes the house pays. And the property taxes are much lower than they were last year when we did the study, because you've had some property tax reform. Homes now don't pay, owner-occupied homes don't pay school taxes. You instead have higher sales taxes to compensate, and the state sends the sales tax money back to localities to compensate for that. On the multifamily, we assume most of them are rentals, and therefore they don't get the tax property abatement deal, and those are the fees. But again, we're not going to focus in on that because we don't have enough time. Let's look at the results. We'll put this in the model and look at the construction effect, the ripple effect, and the occupancy effect, and see where we are. Built 1,850 homes. That was the actual number of homes or permits issued last year. So it's a pretty good measure of activity. Not perfect, but pretty good. Look what you get. $200 million in income, $30 million in taxes, and 3,500 jobs. That's a lot. It's a lot of jobs. It's a lot of money. If you look at these two numbers together, it's $240 million. And along the way, because of that money, there's all this employment that's going on. These workers are earning this money and so on, and profits and so on. Most of these jobs are obviously in construction because we're building homes. You know, if I had belly dancers here, you might get kind of nervous. And there's builders buy stuff from stores, obviously, right? And they're also buying services. Title attorneys, closing attorneys, real estate agents, bankers, landscape architects, interior designers, and all the other services that a builder needs and a developer needs to apply their craft. That's the construction effect. What happens after the construction effect is the ripple effect, right? As big as my waist. Why is there ripple effect? Because there's this $240 million that otherwise wouldn't be here. That's the contribution to the community that the builders are providing. They're building these homes, of course. We know that, but this is the sort of the under the covers thing we don't think about. $240 million. The ripple effect now starts. These numbers, we add up the cumulative effect of the ripple, and it's this big. 100 million in income. So it was 200, now it's 100. Taxes were 32, now they're 19. Jobs were 3,600 originally, and now they're 18, roughly half. The ripple effect, if you add it up together, is half as big as the construction effect. Look at the tax revenue generated here in the ripple phase. It's almost $20 million. If you look at the benefit to home construction and say, does housing pay its way or not, it's important we pick up this number. Because if we don't, we're throwing out a lot of the benefits of home construction very cavalierly, without much thought, and being very unfair to the industry as a whole. And if you're in the industry, especially if you guys are women, men here, remember this and tell people about this. This is important. The ripple effect, remember the first numbers, you added up this and this together, is $240 million.